you know, I think only a few people come here with the hopes of winning the tournament, and I'm one of those people.
It may have turned out to be a love affair, but Andre Agassi's first venture onto the grass at Wimbledon was hardly love at first sight. Back in '87, the 17-year-old from Las Vegas brought a raw talent and a precocious reputation. But then the spectators were far more interested in the progress of his first-round opponent, the charismatic Frenchman, Henri Leconte. In those days, Leconte was threatening to achieve what Agassi actually managed 5 years later. He was in his prime, and Agassi was put firmly in his place. We're in the third set. Leconte leads by 2 sets and by 4 games to 2.
Advantage Leconte. Game Leconte. Leconte leads by 5 games to 2 and 2 sets to love. First serve. Love 15. All. 30-15. (40-15). No. 40-30. Game, set, and match, LeCon.
And that was the last Wimbledon was to see of Agassi for 4 years.
6-2, 6-1, 6-2.
By the time the prodigal son did return, he'd become one of the most marketable figures in sport. Nick Bollettieri was the man who'd guided him from rebellious teenager to the dream package. How did the lad himself regard his return?
I'm expecting to go there nervous and excited. That's all I really can expect. I think you know, Wimbledon has been going on years before me, and obviously it'll go on years after me, so I don't know if they even put time into thinking what are they expecting from me. But assuming if they did, I think they're just hoping that I'm going to come there, you know, with utmost respect for what they offer sports. I know that Wimbledon is a tournament that's in a sense, you know, bigger than the sport. It seems like, you know, Wimbledon is bigger than tennis. That it's a part of, you know, sports. It's it fits in that category from what I've heard and not from what I've seen, because I haven't experienced it yet. The Super Bowl, you know, the World Series, and the Wimbledon is that of the tennis world. So it carries a big reputation, and I'm just excited to be a part of it, to see it.
Four years later, the fans were simply fascinated by this complex character, the rebel who'd become a Christian, the brash kid from Las Vegas who played tennis with an almost naive joy. His first-round opponent, the Canadian Grant Connell, must have felt like a stooge. By this stage, Agassi had won 13 regular tour events, but there were still plenty of doubters. Not about his pure talent, that was there for all to see. No, Agassi still for some hadn't scaled the most difficult heights. He'd reached 3 Grand Slam finals and lost them all. Even in '88, when he won no fewer than 6 tournaments, some maintained he was avoiding the top players, that he hadn't the heart for a real battle. But his rapport with the kids around the world was such that there was nowhere else Wimbledon could start him off than on centre court. And even before the first ball was struck in anger, there was an added air of expectation. Part of Agassi's marketability was his multicoloured tennis gear. Yet Wimbledon's rules meant that he should wear clothing predominantly white. Would he respect that tradition? Agassi kept everyone waiting until the last possible second.
They seem to take it a lot more seriously than I do, so I think it's good as long as they enjoy it, as long as that excites them. Great, you know. I mean, I dwell on how I play, and I'm concerned about how I look, but it's the tennis that I love, not the clothes.
Agassi leads 6-5, fourth set. Connell leads by 2-1.
After 2 days of torrential rain, Agassi and Connell put on a match to lighten the spirits. We pick up the action in the fourth set with Connell leading 2-1, but at 5-6 serving to stay in the fourth.
Love 15. Love 30. Love 40. Agassi. 7 games to 5. Two sets all. Final set. Agassi to serve. Fifteen, love. $30, love. $40, love. Game Agassi, new balls please. First game, final set, new balls.
Agassi's revival continued. Here he is at 5-3 in the fifth, with a break serving for the match.
Ladies and gentlemen, quiet please. Thank you. Love 15. $15 all. 30-15. (40-15). (40-30).
It was his first victory at Wimbledon, and there was plenty for the crowd to enthuse over. The sheer quality of the tennis and of the spirited comeback. The Agassi bandwagon was beginning to roll, and he just loved it.
Agassi wins 3-2, 4-6, 6-1, 6-7.
Wimbledon is a shot-making tournament. You see shots here that you see nowhere else because it forces you to do something spectacular. It seems every point, else you won't win it. And I had a great time. I don't think I've ever enjoyed playing as much as I did the past couple of days. I was tremendously excited coming into it just because, you know, you miss it a couple years for reasons that you want to, you know, work more on the future of your career, hoping it, you know, lasts a long time. And as you finally make it here, a chance to play on center court, I was hoping they would put me on center court because I wasn't quite sure if I'd be around to get another shot at it second round. So I was glad they got out there first round. And the fans here are ones that you don't experience anywhere in the world. Very classy. They clap for good shots. They don't cheer for errors. That's just. I wish I had a way of putting it. It was fun. It was fun.
Game is served by Agassi.
There were still some cynics in the press room, though, but Agassi was beginning to come to grips with them.
Andre, when it got to yesterday, Thursday, did you think you'd have to go back to your sponsors and ask them for a predominantly white raincoat?
Did you want to make a joke, or is that a question?
His second round match pitched him against the gifted Croatian Goran Pripyc, at his best on the clay, but a threat anywhere. This time, he was on court one. Here's the heart of the first set tiebreak. Agassi leads 4-2.
Take seats behind the players, quickly, please. (4-3) Agassi. (5-3) Agassi. 6-3, Agassi. Game in first set, Agassi, 7 games to 6.
It was Pripyat who won the second set, and it needed plenty of graft from Andre to regain the lead. He took the third set, and here in the fourth is up by a break and 4-2.
Love 15. $15 all. $30-15. $40-15. Correction, ball's good. Replay the point. Game, Agassi. Agassi leads 5 games to 2. Fourth set, and by 2 sets to 1. Time. Seats quickly, please. Love 15. Love 30. of 40. Quiet, please. Thank you. $15.40. $30.40. Quiet, please. Thank you. Deuce. Advantage Pripich. Deuce. Advantage Agassi. Deuce. Advantage Agassi. Game, set, and match, Agassi.
The army of admirers continued to grow, but it had been a tough struggle. How tough?
It was very tough. I think coming off a serve and volley or lefty and then playing, Goran, who has the ability to stay back and hit good from the ground, was a tough adjustment for me. Court 1 plays a little differently than center court. I seemed like I was always out front on my returns, and I was just trying to survive, and feel pretty good about that.
And so to the third round. They looked like sunglasses. Were they merely affectation?
I've been having problems pretty much my whole life, and to say the least my career, with dark times, for example, twilight. And today was really overcast, really dark going out in the court, and I have trouble picking up the serves and connecting cleanly with the ball. So for the past maybe a year now, I've been searching for different angles on how to hopefully help that. And earlier this year, I got in touch with Oakley and asked them if they could. Is it possible to arrange anything where it could actually bring out some more colors for me? Because I don't seem to. I depend so much on my eyesight, and so they're working around with a few things. I mean, and I just tried them. It's nothing.
His opponent, the big-serving Richard Krajicek, one of the promising new array of young Dutchmen. Krajicek's serve took him to a first-set tiebreak. It's 4-2 Agassi.
Agassi. For all. For Agassi. Five all. Six, five, Agassi. Agassi wins the first set, 7-6.
He took the second somewhat more easily, 6-3. But once more, here in the third, young Krajicek proved impossible to break. And once again, we're in a tiebreak.
0, Agassi. Two, 0, Agassi. Three, 0, Agassi. Four, 0, Agassi. Four, 1, Agassi. Five, 1, Agassi. Six, 1, Agassi. Six, 2, Agassi. Broad piece. Game, set, match, Agassi.
It was a devastating finish over a potentially lethal opponent. This was the best he'd played at Wimbledon, and now everyone was beginning to take him seriously. His opponent in the round of the last 16 was another big-serving Dutchman, Jacco Elting. But Agassi was now really getting the feel for the place. Here at 5-3, he's serving for the first set.
15 love. $30 love. $30-15. $40-15. Game at first set, Agassi. 6 games to 3.
Elting, though, was made of stern stuff. Despite having to take on Agassi and seemingly the whole centre court crowd, he took the second set 6-3, lost the third by the same score, but as we pick it up, it's 2-all in the fourth.
Love 15. $15 all. $15-30. $15-40. 30-40. Game Agassi.
Agassi was now firmly in the driving seat. As we rejoin the action, he's at 5-4, serving for a place in the quarter-finals.
Love. Fifteen all. $30-15. $40-15. Quiet, please. Game, set, and match, Agassi. 3 sets to 1. 6-3, 3-6, 6-3, 6-4.
And now Agassi was in the last 8 of the tournament he'd shunned for so long.
To win 3 matches here, you got to be able to play good. So I expected a tough match, but what threw me for a loop, I think, was how much topspin he hit on the ball, and I haven't been playing against guys that do that, and all of a sudden when you play somebody who does that, it takes you a while to really get into a groove. I suppose that's what kind of problem that Bjorn posed to people in the later rounds. All of a sudden you're playing somebody who'll keep the ball in play, and so that was an adjustment for me. But he played well, and I thought he would.
How about Wheaton next time?
How about it? What was your question?
What do you feel about your next round?
Well, David obviously can play great tennis. He's done You know, with his type of game on this surface, he can really have a good day and beat anybody. So I'm expecting, you know, to have a tough match out there. However, I think it's going to boil down on how well he's serving, how well I'm returning. Hopefully I can return well and put some pressure on him. I just feel like a qualifier having a tournament of his life. I really haven't had time to stop and think about it. I'm just kind of going through the motions and hoping it continues. If I don't play my best, and you know, he's gonna beat me, and I think if he doesn't play his best, I'll beat him. So there's no question that the surface might favor his style of play more, but I think fighting and wanting it is a big factor too, and I'm playing well, and hopefully I can get back on center court. It's worked well for me out there.
It didn't work out too well at the start. Andre's movement seemed restricted, and by the end of the first set, the physio was on, strapping up his right thigh. To add to his problems, Wheaton was serving as if from the top of a mountain. With 2 breaks of Agassi's serve, he went on to take the first set 6 games to 2. We rejoin play at the start of the second set.
Fifteen love. Fifteen all. 30-15. All. $40-30. Game Agassi. First game, second set. First set, Wheaton.
Agassi's amazing form, despite the restrictions of movement, held right through the guts of the second set. Here he is at 5-love with Wheaton, his serve twice broken already, serving to stay in the set.
Love 15. Love 30.
15-30. $15-40.
Agassi's dominance ended right there. He took the third set 6-3, but Wheaton rallied to take the fourth on the tie-break and the fifth 6-2. Agassi's Grand Slam dream was over, at least for a while.
Tell us about your injury, when it happened, and how it affected the rest of the match.
It happened in the first game. I came down after a serve and I felt something tear. I wasn't sure what it was. I'm not experienced when it comes to injuries. Then just gradually was getting worse all through the course of the match. I'm not sure how it affected it, but I just disappointed I couldn't offer a little bit better tennis out there.
12 months later, the glasses were still there, and despite the occasional highs, his form was still giving real cause for concern. He'd won one tournament in Atlanta and performed well in the American Davis Cup effort and at the French Open. But too often he was being bundled out of minor tournaments far too early for a player with his outstanding talents. His ranking, for the first time in 5 years, had dropped out of the top 10. He was still being hyped by his sponsors, but once again the questioners were asking, does he have what it takes to scale the highest peaks? Wimbledon 92 would conclusively supply the answer.
To me, being here again is a thrill in itself. For sure, doing better than I did last year would be a big thrill for me as well. I think only a few people come here with the hopes of winning the tournament, and I'm one of those people. I avoid playing a few warm-up tournaments on grass because I personally feel that the longer you play on grass, the worse you get. It's a surface that's not actually easy to stay grooved on because the bounces are so extreme, and so I spent about a week in Florida practicing on the grass there.
The Russian Andrei Chesnikov was the first victim in what was to become one of the most amazing stories ever to be told at Wimbledon. The man they said would never perform on grass played like a magician. His quarter-final opponent, Boris Becker, 3 times winner here at Wimbledon. But amidst a magnificent contest, Becker's feared serve was about to be dismantled and his power nullified by this genius with a racket.
Settle down quickly, please. Quickly, please. Ready to play. Thank you. Fifteen love.
Becker took the first set 6-4, but Agassi broke him early in the second, and here at 2-5, Becker is serving to stay in the set.
30-15. Quiet, please. Thank you. All.
Happened about 5 times with that guy. Can't you kick him out?
Second set, Agassi, 6 games to 2. 1-0.
Agassi stayed in control in the third set, which he also won 6-2. But Boris came booming back in the fourth to take it 6-4. So the stage set for an enthralling decider. Agassi's nerve never faltered. Becker here at 2-5 is serving to stay in the tournament.
40-15. Game Becker. Agassi leads 5 games to 3. Final set. Quiet, please. Thank you. Love. Left. Game, set, match, Agassi. He wins 3 sets to 2. 4-6, 6-2, 6-2, 4-6, 6-3.
Before you play Becker, you can never be sure or confident. The fact that I was up 2 sets to 1, I think, helped me, but the fact that I had the momentum, it felt like as we got called for rain, kind of disappointed me, because I knew that now all Boris is thinking is hold serve a couple times, get into a 5th, and raise your game at the right moments, and he's definitely capable of doing that, probably more so than anybody. So I just went to sleep not feeling like I had any advantage at all. I went to sleep saying, I got to come out and do tomorrow what I did today, and if it works, it works.
As one tennis legend left the stage, enter another, John McEnroe, also a 3-time winner of the tournament and the predecessor to Agassi as the game's most charismatic figure. McEnroe, indeed, had been one of Agassi's greatest supporters back in '88 when the cynics were pouring cold water on the new kid in town's achievements. Agassi has never forgotten that support. Now they play doubles together, but this July day at Wimbledon, he simply tore him apart. Agassi took the first 2 sets 6-4, 6-2. Here in the third, he's a break-up already. It's 3-2.
see it, right?
.40-30. Game, Agassi. Agassi leads the third set 4-2.
McEnroe held on to his next service game, so here's Agassi serving at 4-3.
No flash bulbs, please, ladies and gentlemen, during play. Love. For serve. .40 40-15. .30. Advantage Agassi. Good ball. Advantage Agassi. Agassi leads the third set by 5 games to 3. Love. All. All.
sets to love. 6-4, 6-2, 6-3.
Since last year, I've always been confident on grass. I mean, I've always enjoyed it. I felt like I had a good feel out there playing and even think about winning it. Right now, I'm just focused on doing what I have to do tomorrow, and then after winning it, I'll compare and tell you what I think of it. Well, I feel a lot different, you know. I feel a lot different. You know, I've been around the block more than a few times. Been in this situation a few times. Played in the 5th match of the Davis Cup a couple times. I've dealt with a lot of these feelings, and it's just really exciting to be here, and I don't suspect tomorrow will be any different than what it's been these 2 weeks, which is me going out there doing what I know how to do, and I plan on doing that. And if it brings me the crown, well then, so be it. In 1987, I was 17 years old. Back then, I was lucky to get into tournaments, and now I'm hoping to win them, so there's a big difference.
Agassi then in his 4th Grand Slam final, and anxious to erase the memories of those previous 3 defeats. His opponent, the giant Croat, Goran Ivanisevic, a player who, like Agassi, had up to now just fallen 1 step short of greatness. So which of them was to make the final move? So far in the tournament, Ivanisevic's serve had blown his opponents away. Agassi's return, as against Becker, was to be the key factor. Just how would he be able to cope? Well, Ivanisevic took the first set on the tie-break, but Agassi struck a body blow right at the start of the second. And here at 3-5, the Croat is serving to stay in the set.
15. $14-15. Game, Ivanisevic. Agassi leads 5-4. Second set, first set, Ivanisevic. 40 love. Game, second set, Agassi, 6 games to 4.
Into the third set, Agassi at 5-4 has a break and now is serving for a 2-1 lead.
$15 love. $30 love. $40 love. Game, third set, Agassi, 6 games to 4.
Ivanisevic raised his game in the fourth set and eventually won it 6-1. He had the momentum going into the fifth. We pick it up with Ivanisevic serving at 3-4.
$15 love. $15 30-15. $40-15. $40-30. Four games over. 15 love. Love. First service. Game Agassi. Agassi leads 5-4. Final set. Quiet please.
It had been one of the best finals at Wimbledon in recent memory, and there were many reasons for the smiling faces. Ivanisevic wasn't smiling, but at 20 he had the consolation of knowing that his time might well come again. Agassi's day of destiny, though, had come, and here at the Cathedral of Tennis.
I've really had my chances to fulfill a lot of my dreams, and I haven't come through on it in the past, and to do it here is more than I could ever ask for. If my career was over tomorrow, I had a lot more than I deserved. I had a lot more than I could ever ask for.
The flamboyant American's victory, though, was a triumph not just for he and his supporters, but for the whole of tennis. The game at the top level had been threatened by the giant serve and volleys, but here was Andre showing that sheer racket skill could still prevail. A wave of celebration then that this wild talent that so many had doubted had reached out and finally held on to his dream.
Goran wants to hit the serve by you, it's going to go by you. It's just a question if it's going to go in. And I knew he was going to get his aces, and I knew he was going to get his love games. My goal was to take the rare opportunities that you get on the serve and make him really think about it by getting him to deuce or add. And I think getting to break point the first game of the match, I think, kind of helped me. It let him know that I was there to play. And outside that, I had no thoughts. I just enjoyed watching a lot of those serves.
Now you've won it. What do you think about those years you wouldn't come here?
It's kind of sad. I'm really kind of sad because of, this sport has offered me in my life so much. But this tournament has offered me in my life so much, and it's a shame that I didn't respect it a little earlier.
5, please. Game, set, match, Agassi!
When I was out there and that last volley went into the net, all I kept saying was, it's over. Wimbledon champion, Wimbledon champion. But I feel like, I think this surface still favors somebody who plays like Goran. I just survived it, and I'm thankful for that. I felt like I was really making him work, and I had my chance there on the second serve, and then he hit the line on that second serve for an ace, and it just ripped the heart out of me. But I sat down and I got regrouped really quick, and I came on strong to break him early, and I just had the lead, and I never let him out of it. He just served unbelievable. I believe he served more aces in the last 2 sets than he did the first 3 sets. It wouldn't surprise me because it seemed like he couldn't miss his first serve, and I feel like it's a matter of time before I get broken. I'm going to get broke once or twice in a match, sometimes more, but not usually less. And so I hadn't been broken yet. So in my mind, I'm thinking, hang in there as long as possible. But he did play a good game to break me, and then that just even helped him more. Just like snowballed his power, and he started serving even bigger and bigger, and it felt like it was a losing battle in the 4th set. There's anytime you're out there fighting to win a match, to win a title especially, and you get into a 5th set, there's a lot of respect for the other person's fighting spirit. And when you get to the 5th set, it's been said before that it's not a question of tennis. And I'm the happiest man in the world right now.
Game, set, match, Agassi! 3 sets to 2, 6-7, 6-4, 6-4, 1-6, 6-4.
His actions speak louder than words. It was very impressive to see you hug Ivan Isevich. I wonder what made you do it, and what did you two exchange in conversation? It was very touching.
I think he looks really good in his shorts,